Okay, so today we're diving into something pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
A world where Leonardo da Vinci's inventions actually came to life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like all those incredible sketches we've seen, the flying machines, the
Right.
robots, the bridges,
Mm-hmm.
they actually got built.
That's fascinating because we're not just talking about cool gadgets here, right? I mean, Da Vinci's genius spanned
Right.
engineering, art, anatomy.
Yeah.
So in this world, things are different on a fundamental level.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, a completely different course of history, different society.
Exactly. Like we're going to explore what life would be like for everyday people, how technology would have evolved,
Mm-hmm.
even how history itself might have unfolded.
Yeah.
But to start off, let's meet someone who's actually living in this Da Vinci-powered dream.
Okay, so in this alternate reality, we have Antonio Ferrara.
Okay.
He's a leading engineer, and he's kind of obsessed with Da Vinci,
Mm-hmm.
but not in like a museum kind of way.
Right.
Antonio's dedicated his career to making those centuries-old flying machine designs actually work.
So people are zipping around in personal aircraft
Yeah.
based on like 15th century ideas.
Pretty much.
It's got to be a wild commute.
Right. Imagine if Da Vinci's concepts were the foundation for all transportation.
Yeah.
Global trade would be completely different.
Oh, yeah.
Like massive airships replacing cargo ships,
Wow.
all based on his designs.
Okay, so this Antonio guy, he doesn't just see Da Vinci as an inventor then.
No, not just an inventor.
Yeah.
He sees him as someone who like laid the groundwork for this entire new technological era.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
Mhm.
I'm also thinking about the everyday person in this world.
Sure.
How does all this Da Vinci tech affect their lives, like on a practical level?
So let's meet Isabella Marconi.
Okay.
Her life is totally intertwined with Da Vinci's legacy,
Mm-hmm.
but in a very down-to-earth way.
Okay.
Think robotic help in the kitchen, advanced irrigation systems for her garden, all inspired by his work.
So it's not just grand inventions. It's like the application of Da Vinci's principles to everyday problems.
Exactly.
That's how you change a society, right?
Yeah. Da Vinci was all about understanding the underlying mechanisms of nature
Right.
and then applying those principles to engineering.
Yeah.
So in this reality, that approach basically permeates everything.
Okay, let's get into specifics now.
Sure.
I mean, everyone knows Da Vinci's flying machines,
Mm-hmm.
but we got to go beyond just saying they exist here.
Right.
How do they actually work in this world?
Well, they're not just for leisurely flights.
Yeah.
They're like the backbone of the whole transportation system.
Okay.
So we're talking personal flying vehicles for commuting, massive airships for long-distance travel and trade. It adds a whole new dimension to urban planning and logistics.
I can just imagine the air traffic control situation up there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what about those famous mechanical knights that Da Vinci drew?
Oh, yeah.
Are they walking around serving coffee?
Not quite coffee, but they're definitely here. They've evolved into these sophisticated robots
well.
that are used in every aspect of life, from factories to households.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a world where automation was already advanced by like the 1600s.
Whoa, that's a huge jump.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that completely change the course of history?
absolutely. Like how, well, think about it. The Industrial Revolution powered by water, wind, early steam engines,
Yeah.
all based on Da Vinci's ideas.
Right.
It would have happened centuries earlier.
Wow.
Manufacturing, agriculture, even warfare.
Yeah.
Everything would be accelerated.
I bet the Renaissance itself would be totally different, too.
Oh, yeah, completely different.
It wouldn't just be about art anymore.
No, in this reality, the Renaissance is less about paintings and sculptures
Right.
and more about workshops and laboratories.
Okay.
It's a network of engineers and inventors across Europe,
Mm-hmm.
all collaborating on Da Vinci's concepts.
So it's less about humanism and more about
Yeah,
human engineering, I guess you could say.
basically.
That's a wild thought. Yeah. But Da Vinci also designed some pretty scary war machines.
Right.
What happened with those?
Well, that's the dark side of this whole technological leap forward.
Right.
Imagine tanks and multi-barrel cannons in the hands of Renaissance armies.
Oh, wow.
Wars would be shorter, but far more devastating.
That's a chilling thought.
Yeah.
It makes you realize technology isn't inherently good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about how it's used.
Exactly. And in this alternate reality, the destructive potential of Da Vinci's war machines actually leads to some surprisingly early peace treaties. So imagine the Renaissance becoming less about territorial conquest
Yeah.
and more about this race to innovate and build
Okay, so we've got flying machines, advanced robots, a totally different historical timeline.
Mm-hmm.
This is mind-boggling.
It is.
But let's zoom in again
Yeah.
and focus on everyday life in this world.
Right.
What's it actually like to live in a house built on Da Vinci's principles?
Well, Da Vinci was fascinated by systems,
Okay.
like how things connect, how forces interact.
Yeah.
So homes in this world are all about efficiency and automation.
Okay.
So think lifts, doors, water systems, even fireplaces that like regulate themselves.
It's like living in a smart home designed 500 years ago.
Exactly.
Now, that's what I call a historical renovation.
Yeah.
What about the streets? Is it all horse-drawn carriages and cobblestones?
Not quite. Imagine a bustling city,
Yeah.
but with like multi-layered transportation.
Yes.
So you've got ground-level vehicles inspired by Da Vinci's three-wheeled contraptions, all powered by cranks and gears.
Right.
And then above it all, you have those personal flying machines zipping between buildings.
Wow, that's a visual I've got to try and wrap my head around.
Yeah.
But it sounds like there's still a sense of craftsmanship in this world.
Oh, absolutely.
Even with all the technology.
Da Vinci himself was a master craftsman.
Right.
And that ethos is carried through in this reality.
Okay.
So workshops and factories, they utilize advanced mechanics based on his designs.
Mm-hmm.
But the emphasis is still on quality and precision.
It makes you wonder if this blend of technology and craftsmanship wouldn't lead to some incredible works of art
For sure.
or engineering marvels.
Yeah, it's fascinating to think about.
Yeah.
And that's just the beginning.
Right.
We've only scratched the surface of what it would be like to live in a world shaped by Da Vinci's genius.
So we're back, and I'm still trying to picture those layered cityscapes with flying machines zipping between buildings.
It is pretty wild.
It's like a Renaissance sci-fi movie or something.
Yeah, it really shows you how Da Vinci's ideas still spark the imagination.
Oh, for sure.
Even centuries later.
Mm-hmm.
But all this talk about advanced mechanics and automation,
Yeah.
it makes me think about the people you know.
Right.
Like, we know this world is incredibly efficient,
Mm-hmm.
but what's the cost?
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, in our world, we worry about automation replacing jobs.
Exactly.
Imagine if that process had started hundreds of years earlier.
That's right. This society had to grapple with those questions a long time ago.
So how'd they deal with the potential for mass unemployment?
Mm.
Do they just shrug and say, hey, more time for painting and inventing?
Well, not quite.
Right.
They recognized pretty early on that education had to adapt.
Okay.
So imagine a world where engineering and mechanics are core subjects,
Right.
not just electives.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone needs to understand the systems around them,
Yeah.
not just operate them.
It's like a society-wide embrace of STEM, but like centuries ahead of its time.
Exactly.
But wouldn't that make for a pretty dry culture, though? Like just gears and equations.
Yeah.
No room for art or philosophy.
That's where it gets interesting. See,
Okay.
this society hasn't lost its appreciation for creativity.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Da Vinci's legacy seems to have created this
Okay.
unique blend of art and science.
So instead of artists starving in garrets, they're like collaborating with engineers to build incredible automatons.
Exactly. Think of like public festivals where these intricate clockwork creatures inspired by Da Vinci's designs come to life. Or theatrical productions with dazzling special effects,
Yeah.
all powered by his water-powered mechanisms.
It's like a steampunk Renaissance fair.
Kinda.
But beyond the spectacle, I'm curious about their values.
Sure.
If they're so focused on technology, what about their relationship with nature?
That's a really important question.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be easy to imagine a dystopia of smokestacks and pollution,
Right.
but that's not the case here.
Okay.
Da Vinci was a keen observer of nature,
Yeah.
and his respect for its principles seems to have shaped this society's
Absolutely.
environmental awareness.
So instead of just exploiting natural resources, they're looking to nature for inspiration and sustainable solutions.
Precisely. They've integrated Da Vinci's principles of observation and adaptation into their approach to urban planning, agriculture, energy production.
Give me some examples. What does that actually look like?
Okay, so picture cities with rooftop gardens.
Okay.
Inspired by Da Vinci's vertical farming concepts.
Homes powered by hydroelectric systems based on his water studies, windmills dotting the landscape.
So it's a world where technological progress doesn't come at the expense of the environment.
Exactly.
I love that. It's like they've managed to skip that whole
Yeah.
industrial revolution, pollute everything, then try to fix it phase that we're stuck in.
It's definitely a more harmonious vision of technological advancement.
Yeah.
But let's not forget, this is still a society grappling with the same fundamental questions that we face.
Yeah.
What does it mean to be human in a world increasingly shaped by technology? What are the limits of progress?
Yeah.
And what should we strive for?
Those are big questions.
They are.
I'm guessing a society that's been living with advanced technology for centuries probably has some interesting perspectives to offer.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
And exploring those perspectives can help us better understand our own choices and the potential paths we might take. Okay, so I'm ready to delve deeper into the mind of this Da Vinci-inspired society.
Right.
What can you tell us about their values, their aspirations, their fears?
Well, imagine a world where the drudgery of manual labor is largely a thing of the past.
Okay.
Thanks to automation, people have more leisure time to pursue their passions, whether it's art science exploration or simply enjoying life.
That sounds pretty idyllic. Sign me up.
Right. But wouldn't all that free time lead to boredom, though?
Yeah, good point.
Or a sense of purposelessness?
That's one of the challenges they face, right?
It is. It's like a double-edged sword. So while they have the freedom to explore their potential, there's also this constant need to adapt and learn new skills.
Right, because technology is continuing to evolve.
Exactly, at an accelerated pace.
So it's not all sunshine and flying cars.
Yeah.
This world has its own anxieties and uncertainties.
Oh, absolutely. The very technology that's freed them from manual labor has also created this new set of pressures and anxieties.
Like what?
The need to constantly adapt, the fear of becoming obsolete, the challenge of finding meaning in a world of abundance.
Yeah.
These are all issues they grapple with.
It's interesting how even in a world shaped by the genius of Da Vinci, the human condition remains complex and full of contradictions.
Exactly. And it's through exploring those complexities and contradictions that we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the choices we face in our own world.
So we're back, and I've been thinking about what you said before, you know, about how this Da Vinci world still grapples with those big human questions, even with all their technology.
It's true. It really highlights how progress doesn't erase our need for purpose and connection. It might even amplify those needs.
Okay, so they've had centuries to adapt to advanced technology.
Right.
What have they learned about finding meaning in a world where robots do all the work?
Well, one thing that's really interesting is their emphasis on community and collaboration. Okay.
They've realized that technology can really isolate us if we let it.
Right.
So they've actively built systems that foster connection and shared experiences.
So, like, what does that look like? Are we talking digital town squares?
No, not exactly. Think more along the lines of community workshops.
Okay.
Where people come together to tinker, invent, learn from each other, or public art installations that encourage interaction and collaboration, all powered by Da Vinci-inspired mechanics.
So they're using technology to bring people together.
Exactly.
Not drive them apart.
Right. It's like they've taken that Renaissance ideal of the universal man and applied it to their whole social structure.
Everyone has a role to play.
Exactly.
Everyone contributes.
To the collective knowledge and progress.
And that shared purpose helps with some of the anxieties that come with rapid technological change.
Right. If you know your skills and contributions are valued, you're less likely to feel threatened by automation or obsolescence.
It sounds pretty optimistic.
Yeah.
But I imagine there are still people who struggle to find their place.
Of course.
What happens to those who aren't naturally drawn to engineering or invention?
Well, that's where their appreciation for the arts and humanities comes in.
Okay.
Remember, this is a society that values creativity in all its forms. So while STEM education is emphasized, it's not at the expense of things like music, literature, philosophy, or the visual arts.
So it's not just a society of robots building robots.
Right. They haven't lost touch with their humanity.
There's still room for human expression and exploration.
Absolutely. In fact, they've found that fostering creativity in all its forms actually helps people adapt to change and find new avenues for fulfillment.
So if your job is automated, you can always pick up a paintbrush or a musical instrument.
Or delve into the philosophical implications of technological advancement.
Okay, now we're talking. It's like they've created this society where technology actually enhances human potential instead of diminishing it.
That's a key takeaway for us, I think.
Yeah.
You know, we have a choice. in how we shape our relationship with technology.
Right.
We can let it control us, or we can use it as a tool to empower ourselves.
Build a better future.
Exactly.
It's pretty inspiring to think that even centuries-old ideas like Da Vinci's can still offer guidance for navigating these challenges of a tech-driven world.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, I got to ask.
Sure.
What about Antonio Ferrara, our resident Da Vinci superfan?
Oh, yeah.
What's he up to in this final chapter?
Well, Antonio's been hard at work refining his masterpiece.
Okay.
The Leonardo LX100.
And what is that?
It's a compact, eco-friendly flying car.
Oh, wow.
Inspired by Da Vinci's Ornithopter.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, so remember, the Ornithopter was Da Vinci's vision for a human-powered flying machine.
Right.
Based on the flapping wings of birds.
Right.
Antonio has taken that concept, and using modern materials and propulsion systems, he's transformed it into this sleek and sustainable vehicle for the masses.
So it's not just a technological marvel. It's a symbol of this society's commitment to innovation and sustainability.
Precisely. The LX100 represents the culmination of centuries of progress.
Wow.
A testament to the enduring power of human ingenuity, inspired by the genius of Da Vinci.
It's amazing to think how one person's vision can, echo through time.
Yeah.
And shape a whole civilization.
It really is.
This deep dive has been a wild ride.
It has.
It's left me with a lot to think about.
It's challenged us to consider not just what's possible with technology, but what's desirable. It's a reminder that the future is not predetermined.
Yeah.
It's something we create.
Through our choices.
Exactly.
And our actions shape the future.
So the next time you see a seemingly impossible idea, don't dismiss it.
Right.
Ask yourself, what if? What if?
What if that idea, like Da Vinci's flying machines, could change the world?
That's a great question to ask.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey.